Among the favorite parshas is this week's Parsha, Yisro. We're going to answer 10 questions. We're going to learn 10 commandments. And we're going to make this as a schus for the aliyah of my grandfather and mother's father, Naphtali ben Yaakov. So who gets to have a parsha named after him? Yisro. Why? Because everybody heard about the miracles and the great Nesim events that happened, but only one person took action, and that was Yisro, because he recognized that all this was with a purpose. And what was the purpose? To receive the Torah. Well, this is a parsha. If anyone's a father-in-law, this is the parsha you show your son-in-law, because your son-in-law should only act the way Moshe did. He was so respectful and so he gave so much cover to his father-in-law. On the other hand, his father-in-law was typical. He gave him good advice, and he told him how to make his life easier. Yisro sees that Moshe is giving advice to all the people. People are lining up and coming to him and asking questions. And he said, you're going to wear yourself down. Make a hierarchy based on, I guess, Avon calling, top to bottom, 100, one wise person over 100, another wise person over the next 1,000, and so on and so forth, in a pyramid system, and Moshe at the top. The people wanted that closeness with Moshe, but it was a trade-off. And this way Hashem would speak to Moshe, and Moshe would speak to the people. So there is Yisro giving advice. Now what happens? We have Moshe, we have the leaders, and they were told that they had to be men of means, because they should not be bribed, they should not be affected what people said if they could take money, and they should be men who cared and men who were leaders in their own right. And then, of course, we get to the favorite part, preparation for Matan Torah. 3 days, they prepare, they separate from their wives, and they get themselves in a state of mind. And of course, our most famous pasuk of all, Vayichan Sham Yisroel Neged HaHar. Now, one question, of course, why Har Sinai? Har Sinai because it was low, humble, and didn't ask for it. All the other mountains asked. And Vayichan Sham, why is that they gathered there in the singular and not in the plural? Because they were one heart and one soul. They were all, as we say today, on the same page. I happen to be on this page. It's Perek Yotes, and it talks about that they're going to be there. Now we get to the time of, it says, they saw and they heard. The people saw and heard. Many of you for this is a review, but it says, what did they see and hear? They saw the lightning. It means that the people, if you were deaf, you could hear. If you were blind, you could see. They had to be on a certain madrig, on a certain level, to receive the Torah. So there they are, Neged HaHar. The word Vayichan Sham is from the word Chen. What is Chen? Chen is to see beauty and goodness in others. If they have humility, if we have humility, then we could see the goodness in others. When you see the goodness in others, you love each other and you feel as one. So because they were humble, because they were able to see the good in others, they were as one people because they loved them. It's a life lesson for all of us. And then, of course, Hashem says, I will take you on the wings of eagles. You know, when you see this poetic phrase, Al Kanfei Nesharim, we think it's from their culture, it's from our culture. How does an eagle fly? He has the babies above him. And Hashem, the same thing, there was a cloud that separated. He says, I will protect you. I will be that intermediary. And of course, we are a Mamlechas Kohanim and a Gai Kadosh. What does that mean? That we are on the highest level, that we can be like priests in a sense, and that we are going to be a very holy nation in the way we act and the way we see. Now, this is from Lord Palatnik. It's the 10 Commandments. Lord Palatnik did not give the 10 Commandments. She gave us a way to remember them. There are 10 Commandments, okay? So I'll teach it to you in her name. And her husband should also have a refuah shlema. One God. 2, only one, not another. Not 2 gods. Thou shalt not have another God. 3, oh my God. Don't use God's name in vain. 4, 2 Shabbos candles, 2 challahs. And remember, Shamar v'zachar, that you do the positive things like have challah, homemade challah being made tomorrow, and you have the candles bring the light into the house. So it's 2 and 2, that's 4. Number 5, Shena Meidela, how cute you are. Use the hands. That's respect. Number 5. Number 6, a 6-shooter. Thou shalt not kill. And when we talk about killing, we don't just talk about physically killing, and there are times when you should kill an enemy, but killing by embarrassing someone, by taking away the parnasa, by doing these things. Number 7 Yerich, or marriage, 7 heaven. If you get married to the right person, it's 7 heaven, and I hope you have mazel and get married to the right person. So that's number 7, that thou shalt not commit adultery. Number 8, think of The number 8, sideways, it's like handcuffs. Thou shalt not steal. And it means stealing someone's time. The name is Stahler, stealing someone's knowledge. And number 9, it's kidnapping. Literally, it's kidnapping, taking someone, a person, and making them work, and then putting them into slavery. Number 9, and afterwards selling them. And number 9, what does a 9 look like? Sometimes you look at 9, you turn it over, it's a 6, you can't tell. Thou shalt not swear falsely. And number 10 is itchy fingers, do not covet. Do not covet your neighbor's wife, your neighbor's animals, your neighbors, and everything that your neighbor has. Why does it say everything it has? Because sometimes you want just their car or just their house. If you want it, you have to have everything. You have to have their tsaras, you have to have their unfortunate situations. They said if we all put our baggage in, we'd all take our own out. So 10, do not covet. Don't covet anything. Whatever you have is because Hashem knows it's right for you. Just as somebody is sitting there, they're not looking to marry the Queen of England, especially this one, because they know it's beyond them. Whatever is your neighbor's is beyond you, so you should enjoy. You should know the 10 Commandments should be obviously part of our lives. This year we'll hear it. We should have the wisdom of Yisro to be able to look and know and see the miracles and put it in our lives, and the wisdom of the leaders to always help and look out and not have any jealousy because we know where we're supposed to be. And of course our 10 Commandments. And we should have it supposed to have it.